Lesson 6 in Module 2 is going to be a continuation of connecting the area model to the standard algorithm, but this time we're going to be expanding our units and working with larger numbers, and then figuring out how we can work on renaming those large numbers in our area model. The equation that we're going to be working with is 814 times 39 equals blank. Step 1 in our area model is you want to decompose the factors, and here you want to think about place value in unit expanded form. So if we're taking 814, I want to take out the hundreds, so we would have 800 plus, then I would move to my next one. This is 1 in the tens place value, so I would do plus 10 plus our final value, which is 4 in the one spot, so that equals just 4. Then I would move on to 39 and decompose that. My 3 is in the tens place value, so that would equal 30 plus 9, that is in the ones value, so that is equal to just 9. Here I have two separate equations decomposing my two values. Step 2 is you want to draw and label your area model. To decide how many sections you need to look at how many numbers you have. On the top, 814, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 sections because there are 3 numbers. And you kind of want to, so it's visually correct, you want to make those boxes big, medium, and small depending on their place value. Since the 800 is the biggest, I'm going to make it a bigger box and label that up top. Since 10 is kind of a more medium number, I'm going to give it the medium box here in the middle. And then 4 is in my ones, which is the smallest, so I'll give that the small box. For my side, I have 2 different numbers, one medium and one small, so I'm going to make a smaller box and a medium box, and I'm going to label them accordingly. My small box would be 9. Since that's my small number here, and then my medium number is 30. So I'm going to label my medium boxes as 30. So here I have 39 in my equation represented, and up top I have 814 represented. Step 3 is you want to write each section's equation and then solve. So my first box here, I'm going to bring down the 800, and it is multiplied by 9. And to solve that is 9. I have my 2 zeros here, so I'm going to add them onto the end. And then I do 8 times 9, which is 72. So my first box's value is 7,200. Next, I'm going to move to 10 times 9, which is 90. And finally, 4 times 9. Which is 36. Then I'll move to my bottom box. I have 800 times 30. Now here I have a 3-digit and a 2-digit, but because there's zeros, the simple way to do this is to count the zeros, and that's how many zeros that you're going to have in your answer. So I have 3, and then just multiply the 3 and the 8, which is 24. So my bottom box is 24,000. Then I have 10 times 30, which is a similar idea in that you take those zeros out of your two factors and put those in your answer. So I have 2 zeros, so I'm going to put 2 zeros in my answer. And then I just need to multiply 3 and 1, which is 3. So I have 300. And then finally, 4 multiplied by 30. Same idea, I just take that 0 out, and then I multiply 3 and 4, which is 12, for 120. Step 4, and the final step in solving, is you want to add up these values from each section. So I would take 7,200, add it to 90, and add it to 36, and my answer would be 7,326. And I would do the same for the bottom row, 24,000 plus 300 plus 120, which would equal, I'm erasing that because I want to make sure that I am adding up and aligning my columns, place value columns. So my answer would be 24,420. So I want to make sure that I'm lining them up. So when I go to add, everything is lined up and it is easier to solve. So now that I've gotten my bottom row's answers and my top row's answers added all together, I add those two numbers together to get my final answer. So 6 and 0 is 6, 2 and 2 is 4, 3 and 4 is 7, 7 and 4 is 11. Since I can't have two digits there, I leave the 1, carry the other one, and then 1 and 2 is 3. So my answer to 814 times 39 is 31,746. So now we're going to relate to the standard algorithm. So an area model is considered like method 1, and the standard algorithm is considered method 2. It doesn't matter which method you use, just as long as you're doing everything correctly, because they both work equally the same. So to set up my standard algorithm, usually I like the top number to be my big number. So I'm going to have 814, and I'm going to multiply by my lower number, which is 39. Okay, we are going to start solving the standard algorithm. So what you want to do is you want to start with the bottom far right number. For this one, that is going to be the 9. And we're going to multiply it by the far top right number, which in this case is a 4. So 9 times 4 is 36. We can't put 36 here, so we have to leave the 6 and carry the 3. Okay, so we record the answer and carry if necessary, and in this case we had to carry the 3. Next, we're going to multiply the bottom far right, so same number 9, with the next number in the top, which is the 1. So we're going to do 9 times 1 is 9, and then we have to add that carried number. So 9 times 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12. We record our answer and carry if necessary. We need to carry because our answer is 12 and we can't put 12 there. And then we keep repeating this pattern until we're done with all the factor numbers on top. So 9 times 8 is 72, plus 1 is 73. Okay. Next, we are going to move in to that 3 place value in our bottom factor. And because we're moving into that next tens place value and we're actually multiplying by 30 and not 3, we have to record a 0 underneath here to show that we're now working with tens, as in 30 as opposed to 3. And now we repeat the steps from above with the new bottom number 3. So I'm going to multiply 3 times that far right number 4, which is 12, and I'm going to record my answer and carry if necessary. And since I can't write 12 here, I have to record the 1, and record the 2 and carry the 1. Oops, I forgot to cross out these numbers. You want to remember once you use those numbers to cross them out so you don't get confused when you go back. And then do 3 times 1 plus 1, which would be 4. Then we move to our next number, and we don't have to carry anything here because the answer was 4. Then we do 3 times 8, which is 24, and we don't have anything to add, so we just record 24. And it is really helpful here when you're solving these multiplication problems that you're lining up your numbers, because the next step is you want to add them together. And if they're not lined up correctly, you can get the wrong answer if you're adding the different place values. So 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. So we leave that 1 and carry the 10. 1 plus 2 is 3. So my answer is 31,746. And now I can show you the correlations between our partial values up here in our area model and our partial values down here. If you notice, this 7,326 matches perfectly with our 7,326 here. And if you remember, this one was a carried one, so that is not actually a part of this number. And then you'll notice the 24,420 matches my partial product right here. So that is the correlation between the area model and the standard algorithm.